Welcome to another episode of the 2-for-1 podcast. I am your host, Dion, and alongside me, per usual, on a Monday evening, my co-hosts are right alongside me. Joining me live from the country with the world's longest coastline, it's my main man, Mitchell Sider. Now, Mr. Sider, you told me you are fresh off of an appearance at the dentist. How you feeling? Pearly's all cleaned up?
No, didn't get a cleaning because I was too busy getting my mouth poked with a bunch of sharp objects. But I only had to pay $70 out of pocket. Shout out having benefits for the first time and using them. I've never used benefits before in my life, and today was the first time, and still sucks that I had to pay.
All those hours at the Forbidden Rice Factory. If you know, you know. But joining us live from the only state known by just half of its name, it's the man, the myth, the Nate, Mr. Taylor. Your Hofstra Pride will be taking on the 4-seeded Alabama Crimson Tide this Friday afternoon. How far do you have them going in your bracket?
Well, they could go further now, considering the fact that their second best player or second leading scorer just got arrested for possession of a pound of marijuana.
Something like that, yeah.
Pound of marijuana. I hate I always, when I refer to the charge, I always end up saying marijuana, and I don't think I ever actually say marijuana in my day-to-day life ever. But yeah, I am moved if that. I'm not happy for the guy. I think it sucks that, in 2026 we're being criminally arrested or having a felony arrest for weed again, but the law is the law. So Alabama is one of the states that is not very lenient when it comes to the green stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. I think regardless, though, they could upset them. They were one of the teams that I wasn't mad with getting. I think Speedy's defense lines up with some of the best teams in the country. This is a top 10 defensive team in terms of defensive field goal percentage. So I think we could be in for a Hofstra Pride upset. That's why I put $30 on it. Whopping $30.
Okay. Wow. All right. We don't promote gambling on this podcast.
No, don't gamble. Gambling's
terrible. Until we get a gambling sponsorship, in which case, then I will be
depends if you want to sponsor us and you like gambling, we also actually love gambling.
I think it depends who it is. But do you have them going to Sweet 16 maybe?
No, I think realistically, I think they can get. I mean, you never know with March Madness. There is no correct prediction. I think they'll win the first game because I have confidence in my guys.
Gotcha. Mitch, did you fill out a bracket yet?
I have been. Actually, I've got two, and one of them is strictly an "I told you so" bracket. Because I have Duke winning it all, and then I want to be number one pick Cameron Boozer, but that's just I have that stowed away for if it's ever right. So I've got that.
Okay, I like that.
Before we get into our real discussion today, actually, that brings me to a point I wanted to actually ask you guys. I saw a tweet. I've been doing this a lot lately, where I think I just find a tweet and I ask you about it. But maybe we'll have to come up with a segment name. But I saw somebody say that this guy is such an obvious, or is the obvious number one pick in reference to Cam Boozer, saying 2 GMs are going to get fired if they don't pick this guy or whatever. Basically saying that he is the far superior prospect over Peterson and DeBonsa. And I just don't see it. I think that is someone who strictly watches college basketball and doesn't really understand how the NBA works. If you think that Boozer is clearly a better prospect than those two, I think if you want to argue he's on the same level, fine. I really can't at this moment give you a reason why he isn't, other than opinion. But that's a ridiculous statement. No.
Yeah, it does. Like you said, it does seem to come from a perspective of I watch college basketball, not the NBA, because he's very clearly the best player in college basketball. That doesn't necessarily mean you're the best prospect when it comes to the NBA draft. So, yeah, I think that's all that is there, really.
Because I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but Marvin Bagley seemed like that at a point too, where it was this is I thought Marvin Bagley was going to be a 12-time All-Star, dude. I was so bought in on Marvin Bagley, and now I just college success means not very little, but when it's marginal like that in terms of top prospects, I am not giving a guy a favor just because he had the better year at college.
Right.
I think Cam Boozer is in a other world of the Marvin Bagley kind of comps there.
Okay, because, I'm not trying to say he's Marvin Bagley.
No.
If Boozer's career has a Marvin Bagley-esque storyline, I would be so sad.
No, that wouldn't make sense.
No, I think Boozer is just so much more talented, already so much more polished. The body's already there. There's so many things. Don't get me wrong, I could see Cam Boozer pitch at number 2. Number 1 is just it's a fallacy that would have to be a ridiculous pull by Indiana convinced themselves that the best plug for them would just be Boozer right away. Everything about Cam Boozer screams the second best guy in his draft class. He is literally the man, this draft class was loaded. We have the generational talent, and don't forget all NBA Cam Boozer over here. Like that's the distinction. I think Debanza and Peterson are going to be that level of franchise altering. I think Boozer's going to be he really, really, really impacts your team's winning in year 3.
I think that's actually a really good way to look at it.
Couldn't agree more. That's also where I'm at.
So you said he's the second best. But then you just said,
I said I can see Boozer being a number 2 pick. Doesn't make him the second best prospect in the class, but I can see a team who not necessarily needs to add like a lead guard, as in they already have Trae Young. They could go, oh, wait a minute, Cam Boozer and Sarr is a crazy combo that we could just run out there and terrorize defenses. Like,
that makes sense.
That does make a lot of sense. I like that.
Well, that's the whole. I think the identity of Washington, if they're at number 2 and Debanza or Peterson goes 1, they can literally look at themselves and go, the Jalen Johnson potential plus version next to Trae Young, and we already have Sarr. Like, of course, why wouldn't we run that? That would be such a fun and also very disciplined defensive lineup. And they wouldn't have to worry about Trae potentially sucking the vacuum out of Debanza next to him or ruining Peterson's potential ceiling because he's playing next to another ball-dominant guard. For Washington, Boozer just makes sense. Whether or not they're 2,
they would go ahead and take Peterson and just completely ruin him. Knowing the Wizards, that's probably the way it would actually go. But dang, Boozer and Sarr actually, that would be, anyway.
I think at this point, I'm sold on AJ as the number 1 guy, just if we want to continue that brief conversation, just because I think being a potential elite 2-way wing, a guy that can – I think AJ is going to be a guy who scores 25-plus for many years to come, probably one of the best scorers in the league. I think his polish at that age and his athleticism and the length, him projecting as just a really, really good NBA player is just like – I see him you could put him on any of the top teams, and I think he finds a role. Whereas Boozer, I think, has to have things a little more cut out for him. Peterson, I think, just needs to go to a good franchise. Like, if you throw Peterson onto the Kings, like, he could turn the franchise around if he's good enough. But everything about AJ just strikes me as like a Jaylen Brown / Jason Tatum type of all NBA 2-way forward that's just a staple of the league for years.
For the people who aren't quite dialed in, let me give you a hypothetical comparison. Would you rather have like last year Orlando, first year Houston Rockets level of Tracy McGrady with defense, or would you rather have 75% of Kobe Bryant? That is what the comparison is, because Peterson is obviously, like, when I talk about tiers, if Kobe in probably the first, you know what, I'll even say it like 24 Kobe, not 8 Kobe. If you would want to say that man reaches 75% of that identity, if Kobe is S's, then Peterson gets A's in all those tiers. Mm-hmm. That's who you could get with Peterson at the peak.
Yeah.
Or you could get the guy who's just as talented as him offensively, has longer wingspan. He's taller. He can add probably a little more weight. The frame is iffy, but he could probably get there, and also have like second team all NBA level defense in terms of switchability. And when he finally gets his legs under him, player B sounds a lot more enticing. If I'm going to change the entirety of my franchise, Peterson is such a oh my God, he could be this generational talent. I really do think that he's going to be he's in the perennial all NBA appearances. A couple of years the chips fall in the right way and he finishes top 3 in MVP. But Debanza could literally be that player with hardware in year 3. I think that's the difference between them.
Yeah, I think just one last point to say. I think AJ, just the reason why I love it is I think today's NBA, the long-rangey wings who can put the ball on the floor and also, defend, score from potentially 3 levels is probably the most valuable archetype in basketball nowadays. And to get a guy like that who can also potentially be the leader of your offense, I'm not saying he's going to be Kevin Durant, but just I think wings are so much more projectable than guards are in today's league.
Yeah, I just think the floor is definitely the lowest between the 3 with Peterson. I just think if he's not going to be that, like Mitch said, 75% Kobe, whatever, as a scorer, I don't really know that it pans out for him. I think he has the most narrow path to becoming that superstar franchise-altering player, whereas, I think AJ Debanza's floor is peak Andrew Wiggins, at worst.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good comp.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much set on Debanza being, my top guy, and the more I hear Mitch talk about him, you made a really compelling case for Boozer just now. So I might end up not having Peterson. But then again, this is what I did with Anthony Edwards too, where I ended up having him 6th on my board, I think. And like, obviously, what a fatal mistake that was. But
I still have Peterson over Boozer for me. I don't hate Cam Boozer or anything. I just think Peterson and AJ, I think, are franchise.
I think you said it before though too. Like Peterson needs to end up on a good franchise. I like as much as like archetype wise, him ending up on like the Kings would probably be good for him.
He
like I think I need some stability with Peterson coming in.
Yeah, we can be done with that though. I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, I mean March Madness is this week. Good time to talk about some top picks. But yeah, for this episode, I mean, I know like post All-Star break, most of the episodes have been tailored to kind of having an eye towards the postseason. Pretty much know what to expect, what not to expect with most of these teams to this point. So looking at teams that we know will be in the playoffs, just wanted to kind of talk about who we see as the biggest X factors for each teams, just with the way the standings look right now. Now, the term X factor, similar to like the term role player, I think gets thrown around a lot and has very loose definitions depending on who you're talking to. So wanted to just take a quick minute or two to kind of establish what we actually view as X factors. I'll put this out right now. I'm not picking any of the two best players on a team as an X factor. For me, an X factor is someone that you don't quite know what to expect from them, but whether they have a good game or a bad game has an exponential impact on the outcome of the game for that team. So obviously, like the top two players or maybe top three in certain team structures, you kind of know what to expect. They might not always deliver a la James Harden, but like we know what we're expecting with someone with like a James Harden type role. So trying to look more at like those like second tier, high level starter type of guys.
You know what? To me, that was actually, we're not going to discuss what a role player X factor is. I'm going to tell you what a role player / X factor is, and you're going to listen to me because I'm Dion Sherman.
Oh, I was saying that's from my perspective. I wanted to see like.
No, I like that though. No, I think you're right when we're doing something like this at least because I could say James Harden's an X factor for the Cavs because it's right. Is he going to play well? Then they might win a series if he puts up 6 points on 2 of 28 shooting in Game 7. Obviously, I'm exaggerating that. Then they're not. But I think a role player that needs to step up in a way that maybe we don't see them do every single day, or at least in a game or two.
Yeah, just someone that has the ability to have that sort of outsized impact.
Yeah. To give a more concrete answer from my perspective, 2019 Fred VanVleet is an X factor. 2015 J.R. Smith, Andre Iguodala, those are X factor players.
Yes.
Players where you don't normally let them dictate the outcome of a series, the outcome of a game, but very well
have that give a perfect example
to get into. Sure.
Mr. Mitchell Robinson, I think, is a perfect example of what an X factor is.
I was going to reference last year Aaron Nesmith.
Yeah, I think that's another terrific answer because he stepped up in a way we haven't seen before from him.
Yeah, so that's the realm. Just kind of set the scene. That's the realm of player that we're looking for here. And I think we'll just do like top 6 for each conference. You guys want to start East or West?
We can do East.
All right, cool. Well, let's just go from the top. I have a really strong answer that I feel for the Pistons, but I'll let someone else go first if they have someone off the top of their head.
I think the Detroit Pistons outside shot as an X factor is Karis LeVert.
I was going to say careless pervert as a joke and not mean it at all.
I think Karis LeVert in the entirety of his career has been what I would refer to as a rhythm player, a very hot and cold. There are moments where you're like, oh my God, this man might be the best player on the court right now. And there's moments where you're like, are we really sure he averaged 20 with Indiana? Are we really sure that happened?
I think if you want to be real serious, there's moments where it's like, oh my God, I hate watching basketball. Basketball sucks. I hate this sport. Like that. He is an infuriating player to watch at times. And Pistons fans, rightfully so, have been very loud about him on Twitter.
He's an interesting pick, because he is a player that can run hot or cold, like you were saying. I had another wing in mind. I think Duncan Robinson is going to be the X factor for this team because
that is
obviously the thing we look at. We've all been talking about it every podcast, everybody about the Pistons. Oh, well, it's all kind of funneled into Cade. They didn't really have a lot of shot creators. They don't have a lot of shooting. Duncan Robinson is the one guy I think they can go to not only run like a little bit of secondary pick and roll or like, attack a closeout, that kind of thing, but he is going to be their most important shooter throughout this entire playoff run. And I have an interesting stat for you guys. The Pistons, when Duncan Robinson scores at least 15 points, 22-3. So when he's got the shot going, he's spacing the floor, he's making some things happen on like secondary action. It makes such a world of difference for this team. They just don't have that many guys. Jaden Ivey just never panned out as that guy. Kevin Huerter, not going to be that guy.
Doesn't play. They don't play Kevin Huerter.
Yeah, they
got him to be like, hey, you're not a basketball player. Yeah, not a basketball player.
He's just kind of existing over there on the sideline. So yeah, I think Duncan Robinson is the pick for me.
I was going to say Duncan Robinson also. He's actually been, I think, one of the more underrated players in the league this year. He's been really, really good. I think probably everything and more that Detroit could have expected in filling that Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley void. And those are two guys who those are two guys who were huge in the Knicks series last year for Detroit, who they really needed to step up and make shots. And this year, I think that's the Pistons' biggest weakness. They just don't have a lot of guys that can put the ball in the basket from, beyond the 3-point line. And with Cade being as ball dominant as he is, he needs to be able to kick out to people who can space the floor. And I think you're going to need Duncan Robinson to average 13, 14 points a game in a playoff series where he's going to have to be better than his season's average. And there have been a lot of games recently where he's going off for 12 plus every single game. He's around 12 for the season. But he is one of those guys who 100% can he just steal you a playoff game just like that. If he gets hot in a third or fourth quarter, the momentum can switch just like that. And because they don't have any other guys on the team, Duncan's going to have to literally play that role perfectly if they want to have the success that I think they're hoping, which is at least in Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, it's crazy to think about like the career trajectory of Duncan Robinson. He went from coldest white boy in the corner to fraudulent spot up shooter to I have a bag now, and all of a sudden had like Mariana's Trench depth of moves to go to. He went away one summer and came back and was just like, I hung out with Pritchard for probably 130 days, and guess what I can do now? So it's crazy to think about that Duncan Robinson has gotten to this point in his career so late in his career. He's 31, that he's being looked to as like not just a spot up shooter, a genuine shot creator for a playoff team.
And the most important thing is that I think they teach us this from the time we're playing, AAU in high school basketball, that if you're a shooter and you learn to just attack closeouts, you become so much more dangerous. And that's pretty much what he's done. He learns how to attack closeouts now. So his pump fake is dangerous because they're going to go at some of his pump fakes when teams are closing out against him because he can shoot that quick. He's now going and driving baseline on people, and he's doing stuff with the ball. And he's not just that stand still in the corner or run off of pin downs and shoot threes. He's a guy who, okay, if we need an extra guy to take care of the ball a little bit, he's not bringing the ball up the court every possession, but he's become more than just that, like Mitch just said, cold white boy in the corner.
Yeah, but 31 is crazy though. Like I know he had a long path to get to the NBA, went D3 and the whole thing, but my God, I mean, he looks like he's fucking 19 still.
Yeah. And he moves
still
like
looks like Sheen. Anyway, I think that's my pick there for the Celtics. I mean, obviously Jason Tatum, like if he's going to be able to play all 4 rounds, the hypothetical.
We're not going to pick the 2 best players on any teams because we know what we're going to expect out of them.
Obviously this is a unique circumstance here. I mean, if we're not going with him, I'm going to say Luka Garza.
No, I think it is Jason Tatum probably.
Yeah, but Jason Tatum is the obvious answer, but I'm going with Luka Garza because for one, like I'm just kind of discounting the existence of Vucevic. Like in my mind, like if he plays, like okay, cool, but like I'm not even expecting him to come back.
He would his finger.
Yeah, he would broke his finger. So Luka Garza, I think it's just gonna be very important. Obviously, Nimi's held it down in the starting spot, but having another big, and I do think Tatum maybe could play a little bit of small ball 5, but having a
put his ass small ball 5 on his first games back. Yeah, bro, that's totally fair to him. We're like, get your ass down there, and he's like, "What, guys? I just started like jumping again."
Yeah, please. I want to see Jason Tatum post Achilles try to grab rebounds over Mitchell Robinson.
That's not what a small ball 5 is against Mitchell Robinson. You wouldn't do that, but
point being, you're gonna have to jump play small ball 5 against.
Point, the East is big as hell. Pause.
I guess so, but. All right, well then, more to my point, then Luka Garza is going to have to be a factor. I mean,
that's why I was just trying to make you sound smarter, Dion.
Thank you. I don't know why we got fixated on that, but yeah, Luka Garza being able to continue just his level of play, it seems unbelievable to me. Like obviously, you guys know how I felt about him. It's been incredible how he's played in the last like 3 or 4 months. So if that's able to translate with the same level of play, like if he can still play that same 15 minutes, that is going to be a huge swing factor for the Celtics team because I feel pretty solid about what we're going to get from the rest of the roster. Mixed bag as far as like the backup wings, I guess. But like Luka Garza to me, like I can't believe that he's been this good. So if he's going to continue to be this good, I think, have an outside impact.
I know how good he's been offensively. I've seen bigs that can't guard a pick and roll in a playoff series and it never ends well. They always end up getting benched because there's too much physical play in the playoffs and things are moving too fast and you have to be able to react quickly and think. Teams
are also just more willing to go attack that mismatch.
Exactly. They are going to go after every single matchup. So the minute Luka Garza comes on the floor, it's pick and roll at him every single time, involve him in an action every single time, tire him out, and make him make mistakes because he's going to. It happened with Isaiah Hartenstein, as much as he's a plus defender typically against Miles Turner 2 years ago, he got played off the court in the Pacers series. So you have to have like that's my issue with Boston's Neemias Queta is going to have to play a lot of minutes.
Right. See, we say this now, but wouldn't it be just fucking like the most poetic justice thing if Garza is just like a lockdown rim deterrent?
That'd be hilarious.
Covers the drop coverage like insane and like
all this 9 rebounds in 12 minutes.
Like all this, like, oh man, they're gonna really
I could totally
him and he's gonna have to ice the ball handler, and then he's just in a stance the whole time.
He just turns into 2016 Kevin Love.
Yeah, he's just Kevin Love for a whole series. But I think there is a world where he could swing a game. I think if he comes off the bench and gives you a quick 2 threes, and
I could see him. Shout out Hugo one time. Mr. Gonzalez, I think is
Hugo.
I like saying Hugo because it's like
it should be your name.
It is a better name.
But I think that's like another like this guy could affect a series, but at the same time, I'd be unshocked at all if he got like 4 DNPs and then 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think for me,
I really like Ugo long term.
Yeah, I like Ugo long term. But
I got a nice little property on Ugo Island. Just want to put that out there.
Oh, don't say island. No.
My uncle is also Ugo
Estates.
Sure.
My uncle is like the biggest Ugo Gonzalez fan. I might have to just buy him like a shirt at this point or something because he told me he's going to be like a multi-time All-Star at some point.
Yeah, that would be sick.
So I think for me though, the two guys you just mentioned, Ugo and Jordan Walsh, I don't really have one over the other, but I think those are the two guys who I look at as the X factors because they need to be able to be the serviceable backup wings that they've been the past few weeks for Boston in the playoffs. And this is a team that doesn't have a lot of experience. I know Jordan Walsh has been on the team for more than just this year, but he doesn't have any playoff experience. Jordan Walsh is also a guy who started off the season hot. Then he had a stretch where he wasn't playing much and he wasn't playing as well. And now he's been good again with Ugo. So it's really about those two guys being able to actually be your legitimate 7th and 8th man off the bench because Vucevic is, again, such a wild card. I think he should be back with his finger, but I'm not relying on Nikola Vucevic in the playoffs either.
I miss Josh Minot. I can't believe I'm saying that, but he was really cool.
You guys
he was a luxury. No, he was a luxury tax casualty. It is what it is. But
trading Simons was a mistake. And I'm pretty.
It absolutely was not because they did all those moves. They got rid of Tillman, Minot, all that stuff to get under Boucher, the other one, to get under the luxury tax so that they have more flexibility moving forward. So knowing the Celtics are actually going to do something, so it'll end up being beneficial.
All right.
Next up is your New York Knicks. Who you got as the X factor? I think you already said Mitch Robinson. I mean, I don't know.
I think at this point you kind of expect him to do it now. He's not even.
Yeah, it's just like if he's going to be out there or not. It's really more the question.
Yeah, he's been healthy all season. Knock on wood so far. My X factor is Landry Shamet.
Okay, yeah, good answer.
Yeah, he's a guy that has went from being someone that Tom Thibodeau forgot was on the team last year until the later stages of the Eastern Conference Finals to now being this team's best shooter. He's averaging a career high over 10 points a game. He has had stretches where he's exploded for 10 plus points in a quarter. The game against the Heat earlier in the season was a really good example of that when he went for 31 or whatever it was. I really like Landry, and especially with Deuce McBride being injured right now. Hopefully he's back with his ankle. Come playoff time, he's likely to miss the rest of the regular season, I know. But you need a guy like Landry to consistently be able to shoot for you in the playoffs. I know the Knicks are a good overall shooting team, but he's that one like 3-point specialist that they have and their best scoring punch off of the bench. Jose Alvarado, I would love to tell you I'd have any hope for him in the playoffs, but I really just don't. He's been bad in general recently. So I think Landry's the guy I look at as being he has to step up and play to probably, at least 80% of what he's supposed to be at the very minimum.
Perfect. Honestly, no, it's a good pitch because I was going to say Jordan Clarkson because I've seen moments where I'm like, oh my God, there's that spark plug off the bench. There's that guy that can go out and get you a quick 10. And then I've seen moments where I'm like, ooh, the stocks, the Dow Jones is falling on Jordan Clarkson, and I'm not sure if I want to pick it back up. But also, in a playoff setting, I understand that sixth man instinct might kick in a little better than the regular season. I think I've seen enough tween hezzy splashes from Jordan Clarkson to know that that's still in the bag. So he might, when the game needs go and get yours rather than let's play for systematic wins. He might be the guy that I'd go, oh shit. It's not OG that's pulling that move. It's Jordan Clarkson. And then the Knicks win a series. And then, Nate's really happy because they make the Eastern Conference Finals. And then
no, I'm not. Yeah. The Eastern Conference Finals, that's the bare minimum, my friend. Like if they don't make it to the finals, I'm going to be upset.
All right. Well,
that is, yeah, actually, I like Mitch's case because I could see Jordan Clarkson having a random 27-point game and it helps them like get to the finals or whatever. I could see that. But then also
if Jordan Clarkson is the guy that drags them over the line, gets
no, not
MVP.
that. I'm just saying like a game 3, he just like hits 8 threes.
No, exactly. And then like he does that and averages 12 for the rest of it. It averages
right, and then like a different round, like he probably gets benched because of the matchup. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think that's a great reason why a reason why I'm so happy he's still on the roster. And there were rumors of him being potentially bought out after he fell out of the rotation because for a few weeks he really wasn't playing. And during those few weeks, the Knicks defense is now all the way up into the top 5, and Jordan Clarkson hasn't really been playing a whole lot of consistent minutes. But the past few games, he's been filtered back in there a little bit more. I know Josh was out with injury for 2 games. But the game that really stuck out to me, and I was like, this is the type of game you keep Jordan Clarkson on the team for. It was against the Jazz. He started off, missed his first 2 shots, and then he ended up with 27 points on 10 for 15. The Knicks shot 68% from the field in the second half, and they blew the doors off of the Jazz after falling asleep in the first half. He is just, there's few guys who can come off the bench and single-handedly just ignite your offense like he can. He's pretty much just, this is how I described him, because Cam Payne did the same thing last year after not really playing. He is like Cam Payne on steroids plus like 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah, no, that's well said. I think next for the Cavs, I think it's very straightforward. I got to see this with my own eyes just about a week ago. Shout out to Josie. But I mean, the Celtics kind of like embarrassed the Cavs without Jared Allen. I think I've gotten back to the point. I feel like I've gone back and forth about it, but I've now gone full circle back to where I think the Cavs are best with Mobley and Allen on the floor together. Like, I think that's just the best version of them. So watching them
currently.
Yes. So yeah, I just,
yes,
I think his presence is going to be so valuable. Whether or not he's going to show up to his full capacity is one of the biggest things outside of, the James Harden Game 7 fears that we have. To whether or not the Cavs teams can actually put this together. I think he is just kind of like the glue that just makes a lot of what they have make sense, particularly the James Harden acquisition. So I think it has to be him.
Not to say I disagree with you, because like obviously healthy third 3B-esque player is obviously
maybe he's like too high on the list,
but I would say Keon Ellis would be what I would label an X factor for this Cavs team. Let me be clear. I do not believe in the Cavs. I have zero faith that the Cleveland Cavaliers would. I think right now, if in a 7-game series, it's a coin toss if the Raptors or the Cavs come out of that. I think that's what it is. And that's a pessimistic ass Raptors fan telling you this right now.
Yeah.
Cleveland is a team where I'm like, look at all of these holes that they've decided to throw spackle over and not really let it dry. If I have to see one of those Donovan Mitchell bullshit scoop pickups again, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. How do people keep falling for it? James Harden, playoffs. That's how I'm going to pitch it to I don't believe in the Cavs. It's a very hard sell to me because I want to like the identity of this Cleveland team. I want to be like, oh my God, it's like the unction where he turned Clint Capella into like a perennial all-star caliber player gets a better version of him. And then nothing has worked out the way that I thought it did. Nothing has been so seamless. I thought Harden would come in and like the identity would change, but really it's just like, look at these guys doing their thing for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I like the chemistry between Harden and Allen, not so much between Harden and Mobley.
No, it is insane to me that Harden and Mobley does not work, because on paper, a guy who, traditionally speaking, Darius Garland was really good at getting the ball to close enough in your own cylinder. So a guy who's just the other echelon of doing that over and over would make sense, right?
At some point, we're gonna all realize that the common denominator is always Evan Mobley.
It's that same 18 and 9, dog.
Can I tell you Evan Mobley's free throw percentage by month?
Sure. It's like 50 in the last 10.
So it started off October, he was 70. And then it was 56 in November. Then he got it back up to 82 in December. Then January. So since the turn of the calendar year, he was 58%. Then February, 60%. And now in March, he's at 51%. And he is 7 for his last 19 from the free throw line.
Which puts him at a grand total of what for the season?
On the whole season, he is at a grand
61.
total of, why is my shit not loading now? He's at a total of 61%.
61. Yeah, I knew it wasn't good, but wow.
And so that's why, not the only reason why, but that is why he is my X factor, because he cannot just be the same jag in the playoffs, just a guy in the playoffs who sits around and he'll fart around, get your 18 and 8, like people say. I hate to just like embark on the nickname, but that is basically what you need Evan Mobley to not be. You have to have Evan Mobley actually be an all-star caliber player in the playoffs if you want to go farther than maybe fucking around in the second round and then getting bounced.
It's kind of insane to me. He won Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Yep.
He is not even in the discussion for all defense this year.
No, I would say it is one of the hard. We talk about like the Dyson Daniels fall off. Now the Evan Mobley defensive like traditional stat and eye test fall off is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Mobley,
he's just painfully unaggressive.
Yeah, right. Like at one point, I would have like probably 11 months ago, I would have been like wholeheartedly, yeah, obviously Mobley is like the better like piece to like anchor a defense than Scotty. Like, of course, the dude's going to be a much bigger rim return. Not this year, baby. Not this year.
No, and that's credit to Scotty too.
Yeah, no, this isn't mostly to just try to say that Mobley has fallen off. Scotty's also leveled up, so I mean, it's not a fair comparison, but Mobley has definitely taken a leap back. In terms
if they want to even survive with his offense, which they haven't been able to do the past few seasons, even with his defense being that good, but he needs to be that defensive player of the year level defender, plus also being able to maybe shoot a few jump shots and take some of the pressure off of James Harden. The last thing you want is it to come down to James Harden and Donovan Mitchell just having to trade chucking shots, down a series, especially if they're against the team like the Pistons in the second round. That's not going to be something that works.
Right.
Even though they have done well against the Pistons, so maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we kind of went all over the board, but yeah, I think all good answers.
So I got Mobley. Mitch had Keon Ellis and you had Jared Allen?
Correct.
All right.
For the Orlando Magic, I could go a lot of different directions team as well. I wanted to say like the return of Franz, but obviously like second best player, I'm not going to do that. Although cases to be made. I'm becoming a very big Desmond Bain fan. I'll say that much. But as far as X factors, I actually think I'm going to go with Wendell Carter. I think that he's someone that I really liked coming into the league, had an Al Horford-esque kind of game going on. That was like his pro comp. Just never really sat. There's always just a piece missing there. Kind of similar to what you said about Mobley, like what did you call it?
The Jag?
Like painfully unaggressive.
Oh, he's painfully unaggressive.
Yeah, there's a lot of that early on with Wendell Carter. I think slowly but surely over time, he's starting to kind of win me over. He's been pretty good this season. And I think he's been very crucial to their success. I've found the record. They're 15-5 when he scores at least 15. I think him having a level of aggression, I think it applies to both ends of the floor, but particularly just like trying to find his shot and just be someone that just kind of keeps the offense moving, because obviously Orlando struggles with that. I think that he is just like probably their biggest like two-way swing factor.
Yeah. I just think I'm pretty confident what we're going to get from Wendell. I think he'll just be a solid starting big like he's been. If he hits a few extra threes, that's a plus. But X factor, like, am I weird? Am I wrong to say?
You're weird. You're weird, but go ahead.
Am I wrong to say Tristan da Silva?
Yeah,
because he's been really, really good, and one of the biggest reasons. He's been one of the biggest reasons why the Magic have actually turned into a pretty good team over the past 2-3 weeks, and why they've looked like the Magic team that a lot of us expected to see earlier in the season. I know Paolo turning around has also been a big help, but Tristan da Silva has gone and been this really solid two-way wing that they expected to get when they drafted. He was an older rookie coming in. He shoots the three ball well. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit. He does a little bit of everything. Like, he is one of those jack of all trades, master of none. And he's now giving them a little bit of everything. And he's been a really nice connective piece. And he's also had some, not explosive, but games where he's went off for 20-ish points in the last few games. I feel like I've seen him into the high teens the past few games. Maybe I'm exaggerating.
I feel like he's probably like their most important bench piece. Just given that like they never had all five starters healthy. Like, he's probably like their seventh most important guy. But I feel like he's the most important guy that comes off their bench on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of like
his past few games 11, 26, 23, 5, 11, 19. So he's been all over the place. No points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nah, he's getting a steady diet, like 20s to sometimes 30.
So he's a pretty steady piece of the rotation. I like him. That's a good pick too. That's a good pick. Who'd you have, Mitch?
Tristan da Silva. We said
he just said Tristan da Silva. He nodded, and now you're looking around like a chicken with your head cut off.
All right, sorry. All right, let's wrap up with your Raptors, Mr. Sider. I'll let you kick this one off.
Wrap up with the Raptors?
So would it be crazy if I told you that
lunacy?
I truly believe that Colin Murray Boyles is the X factor in a playoff series.
Yes.
I like that answer.
No, you're not crazy, but
Not who you would have gone with.
Not who I would have gone with. So I'm to see what you say.
I think Colin Murray Boyles. So, okay, I'm glad as Raptors fans, we have all come to the conclusion that Scotty Barnes will never be your 1B, 1A scorer. But he will be a damn fine 2B that is all defensive presence all the time. When you don't have the impression of Scotty Barnes should be their go-to guy on offense, you realize just how important a connective tissue player could be at the highest tier. Because if we're going to talk about stars that you would be closely more related to the archetype of a role player, Scotty Barnes does all NBA level role player things. It is crazy to see the level that he's come to, and people can finally be they can appreciate everything else without the connotation of, well, he can't tween has a splash, so Brandon Ingram, you're our guy. I say Colin Murray Boyles because in terms of players that we can switch onto the 5 that aren't flat-footed as hell, we don't have a lot. Jakob Poeltl, sure, he got an 18 rebound game. Yeah. Yippee for that. But he is probably one of the least deterrent players to meet at the rim. He does not stop you. He does not dissuade you. He's not even he
might say hey, please don't put that in the basket.
Exactly. He is like a volunteer park ranger. He's got no actual power, but he will ask you very kindly not to throw your soda cans on the ground. As much as I like the idea of Jamison Battle stepping in and Sandro taking minutes at the 5, it's those would be in spurts. I
don't like that either. Sandro I'm fine with. I don't like Jamison Battle.
We have seen Colin Murray Boyles small ball 5 fights, and he is the Kenneth Faried of I'm going to keep jumping for this board no matter how many times your ass tries to get up there. He is a nuisance at the rim, which is an upgrade from a non-deterrent at all. He actually makes
he's annoying at least.
Yeah, he pesters you in the rim, but in space, motherfucker is the warden of Alcatraz. He's got you in a straitjacket. He's in a stance, and then he's nonchalant about it because Scotty is going clapping in your face. Murray just goes, "All right, you just entered the boiler room. Time to punch in," and then he sends your ass away. And I truly believe Colin Murray Boyles probably at some point in the future will be a full-time, have 15 minutes at the 5 spurt kind of guy for us.
One thing I actually want to say about that too, that I think is great for his career trajectory, is establishing yourself as a physical, hard-nosed defender early is going to favor your whistle for the rest of your career. Because once you get established as this is how this guy plays, then it's different. Because if you saw, let's say, you saw Steph Curry going and playing really hard defense all of a sudden, obviously he's going to get whistled more so than a guy like Lou Dort, who's been playing that type of defense since he came into the league. It's not a great example, but you know what I mean by that. Yeah. So I totally could see Murray Boyles being a guy that steps in, especially with the lack of the Raptors bigs. You're going to need someone who can at least be annoying at the 5. And I think if the Raptors want to play fast and turn their defense into offense, which I think is when they're at their best, I definitely could see him having a big impact for especially one of the rookies, because I don't think a lot of other rookies in this class would have that type of defensive impact.
Yeah, solid. I probably would have went quickly, but I think
I would have went quickly.
You've won me over with CMB. I like that.
I'll still make the case for quickly. I mean, I just think he has to actually be the quickly that they have seen him be at times, not the quickly that puts up.
I don't necessarily feel that his level of play has necessarily correlated all that much with the Raptors' level of success. I do think it applies more to CMB. When he is having a really nice stretch of games, I feel like it correlates more with the Raptors' run of success this season. So.
Little minor X factor. RJ Barrett not falling asleep on defense for the entire series.
That would be helpful. Yeah. Let's kick it to the West though. Shout out to Josie once again, second time on the pod. But the OKC Thunder. First name that came into my head, I'm curious who you guys have. It's the other Jalen Williams. I think the way that he's played as of late, he's proven to me. I was never really a fan of his, to be honest. I kind of thought he was just there for the vibes for the most part. They seem to really love him. But I think he's played really well the last, I don't want to say weeks, months. I don't know.
It's been a while.
He has impressed me this season. Just way more capable as a small ball center. Not even I don't say small ball center. He's just shorter than an average center.
What if
it's been impressive,
dude? What if they had Precious Achiuwa? They would easily win the whole thing.
Okay. Who did you guys have?
Sorry, you're gonna.
No, you. Mitch, my fellow gentleman, please take the stand.
Oh, it's a bit crazy if you think about it.
Okay,
but I had Jared McCain as my X factor because I I know the first words are going to be in a playoff setting. AJ Mitchell is obviously going to be getting the minutes over Jared McCain, and what Jared might not even touch the court enough. What we've seen from Philly's sell high experiment is that Jared McCain can legitimately fill offensive holes in a championship level team. Jared McCain can be conductive to winning basketball on a championship level team. When you give him actual minutes, it's crazy, Nick Nurse, what this player can do for you when you need another ball handler. Instead, 48 minutes a night, Maxi. Enjoy. Yeah. Jared McCain had this talent. We knew he had this talent. He just was what I would say stonewalled from a legitimate rotation place because Nick Nurse, for some godforsaken reason, believes Tyrese Maxey is a cyborg and can play basketball 24/7. Jared McCain, in his when he dons on that electric blue, is a phenomenal basketball player, and I think he's genuinely a player that could, win Game 7 for you against a team like Minnesota just because he gets that 22 piece.
I don't want to completely tear you down and say I couldn't agree any less, but I couldn't agree any less.
Wow.
I just don't. I don't get what you guys see in Jared McCain. It's I know you and Josie feel similarly. He is a good ball handler. He can get hot and make a few shots, but I don't see him as anything more than a Jordan Clarkson type right now. He's a very efficient shooter. I will give him that. But I don't see him turning a playoff series or even being a guy that plays a lot of minutes in a playoff series.
Yeah,
where are you at, Dion?
I don't want to just say in the middle, but I think that
what a shocker, Dion Sherman in the middle.
Oh, Mr. Centrist over here. I can't get into any conflict.
I think that he is the level of shooter to where he can swing a playoff series, but I do agree with you that I don't see a ton much else. That was really bad English, but I don't see a lot else going on there besides just his ability to kind of just stretch the defense out with his shot making.
He is the worst defender on their team by a good margin.
Well, it's a very high bar to cross.
No, I know, but he struggles with the same thing that Isaiah Joe struggled with at times. So this season when Isaiah Joe's shot wasn't falling, it was holy shit, we have to get Isaiah Joe out of the rotation. It's just because everyone else on that team plays such a high level of defense, and that's their identity because their half-court offense isn't nearly as elite as their defense is.
Yeah, I do worry that moving forward, Jared McCain has a Jordan Poole type of path to success, which obviously has not gone well.
No, because Jordan Poole could never dream of his efficiency.
That's fair, but I just the type of guy who I just don't know what else he has to his game yet. Obviously, there's time. I'm not writing him off, but I just don't really know what else he does right now other than stretch the floor. So he could. I think it's a good pick for X Factor because he is the type of guy. I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, Mitch painted the perfect picture of he has 22 points in Game 7 against Minnesota. I saw it happening. I saw the League Alerts fucking post as it happened.
For me, I'd pick a different guard. I'd go with AJ Mitchell just because he's been more consistent, and I think he's actually the ball handler and playmaker that Jared isn't, I think. Or maybe the ball hand, the ball handling with Jared isn't an issue. I shouldn't say that, but Jared doesn't find his teammates open or see the next play before the play is happening. Yeah. Not that AJ is some maestro, but he is a very instinctive young point guard. Especially being it's only his second year in the league, he's a guy who can go and give you 15 points. He can also go and give you 6 assists. I really like his combo guardness that he has to his game, where he can play next to Shea or he can be the lead guard off your bench. So I think if he can even be 75-ish% of what he is in the regular season, you don't need him to give you 14-3 in the playoffs. If he gives you 11-2, 11-3, and has a game where he goes off for 15-5, I think that's the type of guy that OKC needs off their bench. But Jared could end up being that guy. I can't say that he won't.
Make great cases for both. I'm still going with the other Jalen Williams. Shout out to him.
Okay.
The actual J-Dub, he's got to perform too, but obviously
I was gonna say he's another one too. If he's probably the biggest one.
Yeah, but
that's obvious.
Yeah. The San Antonio Spurs, a lot of good choices for this one. I kind of want to go with Julian Champagnie. The fact that Champagnie is an NBA starter on the Western Conference 2 seed is just incredible. I mean, this is a guy that was on the fringes of being in the NBA not even 2 years ago. So I think whether or not his level of play is going to translate to the playoffs is going to be a huge factor. You?
No. Well,
no?
Yes, me. I do agree.
Cool.
Actually, he was, but Omar sold me on this one because I think we were talking about.
Because you guys are talking about mixed trade targets.
Yeah, we're doing I don't even know what episode it was about.
Yeah, I mean, just moving him into the starting lineup in favor of Harrison Barnes, who, shout out to him, had a great start to the season, but his shot has kind of fallen off, and Julian Champagne's just kind of replaced him in that sense. So,
and the fact that he is the one like movement shooter that they have when they have three guards who you can't rely on to consistently shoot from deep, especially with De'Aaron Fox after his hot start hasn't been nearly as good from deep. Jesus, burp! Jeez. We got a burp. First
been a while.
A few episodes, yeah.
I thought you were going to keep talking.
No,
the way you ended it, I was like, "When's the next thought coming out?"
Okay. But yeah, I think Champagnie is going to need to be a Duncan Robinson type. He's similar to how I feel about Duncan for the Pistons, where he has a lot of weight on his shoulders in regards to being their most reliable shooter. Wemby's obviously going to be able to get some shots up, but there's not too many other guys in that team I'm confident, because Devin Vassell is also.
Well, what about three-level scorer De'Aaron Fox? This is pretty fun. I don't know if we recorded that, but
but that's why I just said those are three guards that you can't rely on to shoot consistently. Him, Harper, and Castle. If Stephon Castle could shoot even a little bit, man, he would just be so good. It's so unfortunate.
Mitch, who would you end up landing on?
I landed on Carter Bryant, actually. It might be weird to give Carter Bryant the X Factor tag, as a man with little expectation, I guess. But the amount that I've seen of recent Carter Bryant, that they've kind of given him a little more leeway, given him a little bit more room to actually like wiggle and stretch his legs. This motherfucker is a defensive menace. He throws his body on the line for home run blocks for no reason, and it is great. I love that intensity. I worry that the Spurs team is going to schematically get picked apart in a playoff setting. Carter Bryant really can't stop them from being like, wait, Fox and Castle, go ahead, take that shot. But they can lean a little bit into, okay, well, if our outside shooting is going to suck, the least we could do is be a very chase you off the line team anyway. Like, hypothetical, I know this would be like an absolutely insane world we live in, but like a Spurs-Knicks finals would be a very, very entertaining series. I think schematically they're a team that like
NBA Cup rematch.
has like a rock paper scissors-esque matchup for them to like play out, and I would be super inclined to watch that.
They got the Wemby stopper.
So, yeah, that was a really good NBA Cup final game, I will say. So that would be kind of cool. That's a good pick, though. I feel like Carter Bryant could end up like sucking in the playoffs, and they could still do well. But he definitely is the type of guy that could like swing a series with his physicality. So that's an interesting pick, because he has like you said, they have let him kind of spread his wings a little bit more recently. It's been fun.
It's been with it because Harrison Barnes was dealing with he injured his ankle in his sleep. Apparently, he woke up from a nap and missed his first game in like 340 games. Yeah. They said Harrison Barnes woke up from a nap and felt extreme ankle soreness or whatever it was, and now he's just
welcome to the action, bro.
He was really nice to start the season, and now he's just Keldon Johnson. Also, what, dude? Ever since we talked about him, he's just been ass. Like, he has not been good. He's been Keldon Johnson of old. He's stunk recently. He barely plays, or not barely plays, but he's not playing nearly as much as he was.
I feel like I've seen him have a few good games recently. Am I tripping?
I think you're tripping, man. Like, he's not been good. Like, he was not a 6 man of the year favorite, but he was in the 6 man of the year conversation. I don't even think he's probably near that now.
Well, he's definitely not an X Factor then. Let's move to, I can't believe I'm saying this, the 3rd seed Los Angeles Lakers. Shout out to them.
I don't like the feeling of saying that out loud.
No, I don't know how long it'll last either, but shout out to them. They're there right now, so we're going to talk about it.
I feel like there's only one answer for this.
Okay, go ahead. Lay it on me.
Marcus Smart.
Okay. Good answer. Probably a better answer than the one that I had.
They need him to be everything that he could possibly be defensively for them to have a real chance against one of the top teams. Maybe if they get matched up against the Rockets, they could be fine, because you could probably throw a lot of teams out there that can guard the Rockets offense. Maybe like Siena men's basketball or like Long Island University. But I don't know. I think Marcus Smart has to be the guy, just because offensively, we know what we're going to get from Luka. We know LeBron's still probably going to be decent. And then Austin Reeves, I think, will probably get his usual numbers, because Luka has the gravity that he does. I look at Marcus Smart as being, okay, here's our one legitimately good defender that isn't a black hole on offense that can't do anything. Jared Vanderbilt.
Wow. Marcus Smart, not a black hole on offense.
No, I said not complete. I said not completely. He's not. He's compared to Jared Vanderbilt. Compared to Jared Vanderbilt,
I would just say Jared Vanderbilt more is like a 0 on offense. Marcus Smart is more black hole-esque where he's like sucking things.
Yeah, okay, maybe black hole wasn't the right word because Marcus Smart can take some bad shots, but there can be the nights where Marcus Smart hits like 3 threes in a row, and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
That does happen from time to time. So yeah, that's a good pick. I was gonna say Ayton, but like I'm kind of just like
no. What the hell?
Whoa,
no,
Ayton.
Like
I thought
there is no version of Ayton actually like being good.
Maybe Rui Hachimura.
I was gonna say Rui was my
Marcus
pick,
Smart.
man.
I don't hate that either.
I think Rui, if I were to like paint you a weird picture, what
would it look like?
Probably like chickens. It would be terrible, dude. I suck so bad at physical media is not my forte.
We're gonna start doing Mitch's finger painting tutorials where he starts to.
Dude, I could do a mad turkey. You go, you handprint down, and then you'll. Yeah. Anyways,
I didn't see that.
Rui is one of the few players I've seen accurately always read when Luka is about to throw his over the shoulder sling, because while more players are kind of like the Austin Reeves catch it in the corner after Luka slings it behind his back, that's different than Rui basically mirroring where Luka's driving on his offhand, and he always catches it. And like every single time Hachimura gets one of those threes, he smiles a little bit, and then he launches it, and it's just cash. He's shooting 43% on the season. That is where I would say he's getting into the echelon of an elite catch and shoot shooter, because Hachimura has been a very He's been the whipped cream that goes on top of the sundae, not the maraschino cherry of the Lakers, but that little additive that you'd go, well, I could take it or leave it, but the more I eat of it, the more I'm inclined to keep the whipped cream. Hachimura has been the guy next to Luka that like looks like they're genuinely joyous to play together. So that's why I'm giving him the X factor.
I feel like Rui hasn't gotten enough credit this year. Actually, he's been slowly, but quietly pretty steady for them. I think he's shooting over 40% from three still on the year too.
43. Yeah, as I said, 43.
Oh yeah, you said you did just say that.
43.
I was trying to find a stat that I could not find for the life of me, and it was really pissing me off.
Now you make a good case for Rui. I think Marcus Smart is just a lot more volatile, if you will. So
I had a Rui stat about something like their record, like some record when he makes like 2 threes or 3 threes. I couldn't find it, unfortunately. You could probably use StatMuse actually. You could look up Lakers record when Rui hits at least 2 threes.
Doing that right now.
Jamie, bring that up for us.
Jamie, bring that. This is when we need Josie.
Jamie. 24 and 10.
Yeah.
What about threes? Or 3 of them? 10 and 3.
Yeah, it's like when Rui.
Wait, hold on. When Rui scores significantly more than everybody else.
Well, no, but he's like the guy.
What about 10 threes, Rui? And then it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
I think no, because outside of like the big three and LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves, like he has to be that legit fourth option because there's no one else like Jacob LaRavia might have a game where he goes off for 14 or something, but other than that,
I like how you gave him
goes off.
Jacob LaRavia. Jacob, get down here, Mr. LaRavia.
I called him Jacob.
Yeah, you said
I meant to say I don't think it's
like you know him on a first. You're like.
We've gotten to the Jake LaRavia part of the episode.
Let's keep it pushing. The Houston Rockets are next on the list.
Oh boy,
I wonder who this should be.
Well,
Ime Udoka, don't sleep with one of your employees.
I am going to not so confidently say because this team makes me ashamed to be a basketball fan sometimes. I'm going to say Reed Shepherd is the X factor in any series that Houston plays.
Yeah. Okay. We're all
in agreement with that. I think
I could maybe make a case for Jabari if I want to get really analytical.
So basically, their only half-court offensive initiator has to play well other than Kevin Durant for them to do well in a 7-game series. Imagine that.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on. I honestly think the next team, the Denver Nuggets, we should all be lock and step as Aaron Gordon.
Oh,
yeah.
Well.
Oh, Mitch Strahan from
Aaron Gordon.
I wanted to say Tim Hardaway Jr. as the biggest X factor.
Okay, I like that.
I think it has to be a defensive X factor for a team like that, though.
Well, that's why it's Aaron Gordon. I mean, I feel like he's kind of like the reason why I wanted to do this segment in the first place.
I would say him or Peyton Watson. I was going to say.
No, I like Tim Hardaway Jr. as a better answer. He's a much more like he's like in the Marcus Smart realm of like being very volatile, where like he might just go and hit 7 threes and like you don't even.
Well, yeah, he did. He had games where he won, like almost single-handedly won the Pistons a game in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, he like what veteran he was like someone who's just been around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That OKC game was fucking phenomenal.
Do you guys remember when Tim Hardaway got jumped over by Giannis?
I do.
Yeah.
And then when he called Serge Ibaka safe instead of playing
do you remember?
defense.
Yeah. And then, oh my God, that was
I used to watch those
good.
games live with hopes that we'd win them, just so you guys know that. Unironically.
But okay, yeah, I like Tim Hardaway Jr. I guess he is very X factory as well. But I
guess if I had to pick between those, then I'd probably lean Gordon just because his defense. He actually has to be healthy, and his defense has to be able to carry that sack of shit that they have. I'm not calling Jokic. I don't know if that sounded like I was calling Jokic a sack of shit, but I meant like
their defense
as a whole.
Yeah, and then to wrap us up here, the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, they are an X factor onto themselves, but
I think it's got to be either Jaden McDaniels or Jonte.
Jonte? Oh,
Jonte
Porter.
Jonte Porter is going to come out of prison and score 13 points a game.
He's playing in like Puerto Rico or something.
Oh, I saw that. I was confused how he got out.
Yeah, I'm not aware.
Did you break him out?
It wasn't me.
Mitch,
I don't know.
Did you do it?
No, I have no connections.
No further questions.
I have never once have I been aware of any scandals involving.
He definitely does not have a Raptors jersey behind him.
Anyway, who's your X Factor, Mitch?
My X Factor is, funnily enough, Bones Highland.
Wow.
Okay, I don't hate that.
My thing with a team like Minnesota, right? Your entire identity is going to be Rudy Gobert. We got Jaden McDaniels because Rudy at this point is like he's one of those like rides at a carnival where like you could clearly see
riding Rudy Gobert
all the time. But you saw the carny like tightening a bolt, putting some tape on it, and goes, still defensive player of the year level. Obviously, like looks good as new. He's not in the slightest that echelon of defender anymore.
Really?
I know.
Shocking. I thought he's been pretty good this season, honestly, and I'm usually pretty low on Rudy.
I do not believe the quality of defense that Rudy Gobert is playing this season to be, the reason that Rudy is a 4X winner. Like,
yeah, okay.
I think offensively it's weird because he's taken an actual like jump in terms of going out and getting his own shot, which is not a thing that you think Rudy Gobert would do this late in his career.
Maybe that's me convoluting that into thinking he's also being better defensively. Just because,
yeah. I still feel like he's having like an all defensive little season. Like he's gonna make all defense. I would think
he's gonna make. Here's what I hate to be this guy. He's gonna make all defense based off of the fact that
reputation pick.
Like he's going to make all defensive player despite the fact that he's not a top 10 defender.
I guess he's gotten to a point for me where like I don't really think about it much. I guess I don't necessarily. I watch a decent amount of Timberwolves. I don't necessarily feel like I know. Like he's kind of just Rudy Gobert to me at this point.
Exactly.
That's a really good observation.
That's exactly the point. You have the mind's eye version of Rudy Gobert, and that's the Rudy Gobert that you've just accustomed to seeing. So you think that's the level he's playing at.
It's like him watching a guy just get you backdoor. You're just like thinking, oh no, that couldn't have happened. That's Rudy Gobert.
No, I guess I'm not keen on. I'm more focused on, and I've been really trying to key in on Ayo Dosunmu. I feel like that was going to be my pick for X Factor. I don't know. He's just kind of like just doing Rudy Gobert stuff, and
Bones Highland has had
choice about it. I don't know.
Exactly. Well, that's what I mean.
You're right. Yeah, I'm gonna key in more on it now because
Rudy Gobert is like if Rudy Gobert makes like he's on your all defensive ballot, he's there because you've got the perception that he's still a top 10 defender in the league. Not that he's been a top 10 defender this year.
Well, now the last 16 games or whatever, I'll be keyed in on what Rudy Gobert got going on. I'll be grinding the Rudy Gobert.
I was gonna say if you're going to tell me you're not a believer of his defense translating to the playoffs, then I'd say yes, I totally agree because I think
that's just like a dramatic thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a heavily matchup dependent, and let's be real, there is an elite at least two guards on every team that they're going to match up against that are going to lick their chops when they see Rudy get out there on the perimeter.
Gooby goo, where are you?
Like they're going to be licking shoes, backing up, being like, "Oh my God, the Stifle Tower! It's been a long time."
So the chopping block, we've eliminated half the league, 8 in the West, 7 in the East. I don't know if I would have predicted that coming into the season, but here we are. So we have eliminated the bottom 8 teams. So the top 7 in the West are still alive, and then the top 7 in the East plus the Hornets, they're still at the 10th spot.
We
held on to the Hornets, which I love, me personally. But we're going to eliminate 3 today. We are rapidly approaching the end of the regular season, so I want to have just 4 teams left, ideally 2 in the West, 2 in the East, to kind of predict the conference finals here, and we'll see how we do once the playoffs start. So 3 teams today. I have a team in mind I'd like to nominate pretty early here, but I'll open the floor. I don't want to take all the air out of the room.
because the team that I would nominate right away would be the Charlotte Hornets.
Ah.
I hate that it has gotten this far. Like, it's a fun time for you. It's a great old time to be a Hornets fan because things are fun again.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, you're still the 10th seed. Like the reality of
reality check here.
Yeah,
you guys still suck.
like yeah, it's been great. It's been fun. You guys are 7-3 in your last 10. You're gonna get squashed at some point. I'm sorry. It's just the reality of the law of averages. You're on the upswing. The hill's going down at some point. I hate to be that guy.
I fear you're right. I feel like we have to. It's time to cut them loose.
Okay, but before we let me just.
Oh my God!
Wait.
All right.
Before we get there,
let me hear your elevator
Do we
pitch.
feel, because the idea is like we're keeping teams that we think are in conference finals contention. Who do we think has a better chance of making the conference finals? The Charlotte Hornets or the Miami Heat?
The Miami Heat.
The Miami Heat.
Okay, all right, fine. If there's no
me when I'm a dumbass.
Followed it up
me
with
when I'm a dumbass.
All right, fine. You guys had no hesitation.
He shot 6 for 20 on the fucking game. Jesus.
He started off really bad. I know.
All right.
Anyways,
well, you guys had no hesitation. We'll go with okay, fine. So we'll cut out the Hornets as team one. My nomination was going to be for the Suns. I have been impressed with what they've done without Dylan Brooks, but I just don't see it.
I would also just like to easily kick out the Suns. But
It's been a great season for them.
Jalen Green, once again, it's March and he just decided to be a demon.
Yeah, so I think definitely hats off to them for having this good of a season. I don't think anyone expected 39 and 28 with coming into the year. So they're just on the outside looking in. But
dude, the Wizards have AIDS.
What?
Porzingis scored 30 on them in like less than 30 minutes. They're so bad. Any starting center, like Omar said this to me, I'm gonna say it again now. I'm not a super big betting man. I do occasionally gamble. Don't take a lot of advice from me in regards to that, but in this, if there's a capable starting center playing the Washington Wizards, take their over. Just take the over. You will not lose.
Okay. You heard it here first.
Neemias Queta scored 22 points and a half.
He certainly did. Shout out to him. I think he had like 3 in the second half, but hey.
He had 2.
Nice. Okay, cool. And then I guess, we'll go with Hornets, Suns. And then I still don't really love the Magic, but we're going with, I think it's between them or the Heat, no?
I mean, in the West, I don't think we're getting rid of anyone else.
Because I think the top 6 in the West, those are all teams that can make the conference finals. But
dude,
the Magic?
Okay, sorry. Can we do like a who's left in the East? Because I just want to make sure that my mind's
we're basically
Pistons. It's Pistons, Knicks, Celtics, Cavs, Magic, Raptors, Heat.
Yep. And then Thunder, Spurs, Lakers, Rockets, Nuggets, Timberwolves. All the teams we just talked about, plus the Heat.
Wow, I must be an insanely pessimistic person because my nod was going to be to the Raptors.
I actually was also going to say the same. I was like, I don't want to piss Miss. I don't want to piss Mitch off, but I think
between Miami, Orlando, and Toronto, Toronto's the team that's less likely to make these.
I think Toronto is probably the worst team out of the ones left.
Okay. I mean, if I'll let majority rule here, but I would definitely have them.
I think the Heat have been pretty good lately to where I don't want to cut them off yet.
Okay. All right, fair enough. And your dog.
Bam scoring 83 indeed was what turned the table.
Okay.
No, they've just been like one of the better defenses in general lately. And they're finally going to be healthy. I don't know what that's going to look like, but
that's fair. And I guess you don't want to write off Spo in them. So all right.
Cool. I trust Spo to adjust to or play up to his competition more so than any of those other coaches. And especially with the Magic being led by a coach who their players don't want to play for, and now they're just like basically winning off of just exerting their free will and like, hey, we can defy this guy and still win. So
good point. Okay. Well, I guess we'll unfortunately eliminate Mr. Sider's Raptors. So that would leave us with the top 6 seeds in the West, and then Pistons, Celtics, Knicks, Cavs, Magic, Heat, which is almost the top 6.
This is really going to get interesting down to because if we just end up with the Knicks and Celtics, we're going to get a lot of weird looks.
Well, it might just work out that way, but we'll see. We'll see how it all unfolds. We'll have a couple weeks left here before we get to the postseason. I'm so excited. Very much looking forward to this first round. I think it's, I think people can say this any given year, but this year's playoffs, depending on how the seeds work out, could be absolute cinema. So,
especially if the Celtics lose tonight.
It doesn't matter. They're going to be the 2 seed. But we have March Madness to hold us over until then. So next time we record, the madness will have started. Good luck to everybody with their brackets. If you don't do one, you are lame. I don't care if you watch college basketball or not. You have just as good a chance as literally anybody else. So
yeah.
might
So
as well
tell your
do it.
mom, tell your sister, tell your sister's sisters, tell your sister's friends, tell
Mhm.
your
And then
other
after
sister.
and after you do that, and they fill out their bracket, then tell them to come subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on all socials at 2for1hoops. I think that'll do it for this episode. Unless you guys had anything else burning to get off your chest.
I would say now, if you are a team that is potentially going to be finding yourselves in the mid lottery, so you're not getting a top 4 pick, but you're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think now is the perfect time to start just oozing as much of this like week as you possibly can into your brain. I pay attention to guys like Kingston Flemings. Watch a lot of Nate Ammon. Watch a lot of Keaton Wagler. There is
A ton of Darius Acuff.
And a lot of
Yes.
What is his name? Davis Cruz. What's his name?
Oh my god, just go die in a hole, man.
What's the name?
You just fucked that up. It's Cruz
it Cruz?
Davis. Like
Cruz
you fucking
Davis.
tried, but that was awful.
All right. At least
Elijah Arenas is also going to be making a lot of noise at USC. Like there are so many fun players in this draft class. There are going to be so many fun little quirks. Like the Raptors could have Gilbert Arenas' son as their like starting 2 guard in 3 years. Like that's how crazy this draft could be. So pay attention to the tourney. Really lock in. Even if you're not like a huge if you're only like a very casual NBA watcher, there's going to be some sauced up white boy out there that hits 11 threes in a game and sends a 2-seed packing. Just watch it. Just tune in.
Actually, it's going to be a 4-seed or 3-seed, 13-seed sending a 4-seed packing, and that white boy's name is German Plotnikov. But we'll be back in another week, and time will tell.
All right. Yeah. Well, we'll find out for sure next time we record. But until then, hope everyone has a great rest of their day.